this is Jen Swift of Well Crafted Studio, and this is my crafting bestie.
Amy Romeo of Amy Romeo Crafts. Hi, everyone. Good
Hi.
morning. Good morning.
So we got
We
some.
have so many friends with us here already, Jen.
I
I'm
was
super
just
excited.
wondering. Because
Yeah, I
my
was just
comments
looking.
don't pop up until we actually go live, and so
Hmm.
it's always like the surprise. It's like, is anyone there?
Yeah, Sonia's here. Karen's here. Paula's here. Diana, Linda, Christine, our squirrel, Christine. Lots of people. Debbie.
It
So
sounds.
fun.
It's not. So looking at the comments here, first of all, looks like it's a beautiful morning for a lot of you. It's pretty gray here. But also, it looks like Paula and I think Nikki was saying that they've already started watching our workshops today.
I saw that. That's so awesome. I love that.
You were all on top
Super
of it and you
excited.
sent out a reminder this morning that yours was today. I haven't done that.
Well, when you wake up really early, you have lots of time to do the things. But I was excited. I didn't realize that me and you and Sarah were all on the same day, and Abby. I didn't know
Abby,
that.
too? I guess I
Yeah.
thought you were yesterday. So I sent out an email saying you were yesterday.
Oh, well, surprise. But yeah, I went to today to send the email, and then there were some other cool presentations, but they're not necessarily people that I know, so I'll have to watch them to get to know them. But in terms of my besties, I was excited to see you and Sarah, and then of course Mim
It's
has
almost
some
like
good
an online
ones
party.
today too. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's always
So
right.
that,
It's always easy to write the email when you're like, yeah, and let me name drop seven other amazing people. Super easy.
do you name drop me?
I do.
Wow. I name drop
I
you all
do.
the time. I'm like
I
my
do.
crafting bestie, Amy. And then it's gotten to the point where people know. I don't even have to say Amy Romeo. You're like
That's right.
the Amy. So
That's
there's
funny.
lots of Sarahs and Jens, but there's only one Amy.
You're
So
funny. Actually, there's not. There's quite a few Amy's, but I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah.
so
Everyone's saying they've been watching. That's so awesome. I
yeah,
love
so
that. I
that
didn't know we had so many planner friends.
yeah, so that is the Planner Craft Pro Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And that we've kind of talked about that a little bit already. And actually, that
Mm-hmm.
one I'm really excited about because I love to use a planner. I've
Mm-hmm.
actually like even created my own digital planner in the past, but then I went
Mm-hmm.
back to using a wooden one, or not a wooden one, like a non-digital. What do you call that? A paper, an
A
actual
paper
paper one.
planner.
Yeah.
Yes.
But for the summit, I did make these cool stickers. I show
The
people how to make them. So
your presentation is so cool. So
really,
cool. Yeah, you're like,
ah.
well, yeah, remember last week we were saying how you were like, oh yeah, I just whipped up 50 something digital
Oh yeah, that
stickers
was
or
funny because it ended up being 61 and I didn't even know. I didn't
yeah,
actually count them that I remember, so.
you're so funny. And I rolled my eyes at you. But I still love you and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, and Gina's sees in it too. So Nikki was just watching. Oh, and Kathy's been watching my Procreate class. Kathy's in my Procreate course. So I'm actually in the middle of my 4-week course right now too. So that's been a
Oh,
lot of fun. I'm enjoying
that's
it.
awesome. I'm I'm still plugging away at my summer event, but I'm making progress. So
Okay, so
yay.
I want to know here in the chat. I want to know who here thinks they use planners because they need them. I feel like the majority of people that use planners, it's because we have this desperate need for the organization they give. Amy, I bet you don't use a planner.
I actually use a couple planners, so I don't
Oh,
really have like a
really?
planner that I love. Well, it's not. I guess it's not a planner. It's more like a calendar.
Okay, well,
So
that works.
you know, but I have like a family calendar. I use Cozy that I share with everyone in my family, and we have an app, and then everyone can kind of see what everyone's doing. And I tell the kids if it's not on Cozy, it doesn't exist. So every practice,
Okay.
every sleepover, like everything's on there. And then I use Google Calendar and I use Notion a lot also as a planner. It has a calendar feature, but I haven't found something that I really love. I want to do like digital planning. Like I have good notes and I keep wanting to play with it, but it just seems sort of tedious to like write out the
Yeah,
task and drag it into place. But it's so pretty.
it is. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the trauma, or not trauma. God, my words are not right to the trauma. I think that's part of the conundrum is that part of us just wants it to look pretty, and we're all
Right.
like, like dazzled by the colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part is just like I've got 15 minutes. Do I really have time to sit here and write my day
Mm-hmm.
out in this planner and plan it out?
Yeah.
So yeah, mine is a mix of, the days that I take
Yeah.
the time to make it look pretty and plan my day out nicely are like the
Right.
best days.
Right.
Doesn't happen a lot.
I really just use reminders on my phone. And that way, anytime if I'm driving, I can tell my car, to add a note to my reminder. And that's just like my to-do list for the day. And then I can tell it to remind me of something for tomorrow. So if I waited until I was somewhere to either write it down in a paper planner or open up like my digital planner app, it would never happen.
So what you're
So,
saying is you're too busy to do it like you're on the go.
well,
You're
I
on the
don't know
go.
about that. I am. I am on the go a lot, but I forget. I have to remember everything. Like, oh, turn off the sprinkler hose in 30 minutes. I will forget. So I have to set a
Yeah.
reminder.
Well, I
Anyway.
do love my planner, and I do like to start. So I took ADD coaching over the summer or over the spring, and she said, nothing gets done in the day until it's in the planner. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to like really do that, like just
Mm-hmm.
right at the beginning of the day, kind of plan out what I'm going to do, and it really does help me feel more in control of my day, and it reminds
Yeah.
me of, I'll look at my calendar, I'm like, oh right, I have that in half an hour. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Let's see. Joy says GoodNotes is easy to use. Yes. Yeah, I really want to do some digital planning because it just looks so pretty. I just have to get. I see when. Do you ever watch those like plan with me videos on YouTube
Uh-uh.
where they have like a digital spread and you see them and they're like dragging and dropping their events and their little digital stickers. They're very comfortable in GoodNotes and they know all the shortcuts.
Hmm.
So I don't know that stuff yet. So I'm like trying to figure out where do I click to type something? Where do I click? But I think once you feel comfortable and you know how to do all those shortcuts, it probably goes pretty fast.
Yeah, I feel like it's like with Procreate too. It just seemed overwhelming in the beginning, but once you
Hmm.
actually start learning how all the pieces kind of work individually, you can start
Yeah,
kind of getting into this flow where you're kind of like making it all work together, and then
right.
that's nirvana.
Yeah. So I think I
But it's
just need
interesting
to.
how many people in the chat use either paper or digital. So
Hmm.
digital or both.
Yeah.
But yeah, sticky notes are I love sticky notes, post-its.
He knows. Yeah. But my project I made for paper planner people, there I made these cute little paper clips,
Ooh,
and I
ooh, is it
promised I'd
squirrel
show
and
you
tell
them
time? I
last
think it
week.
might be.
Well, I'm just gonna squirrel real quick and show them to you.
Okay.
But they're and my national day calendar says it's Red Rose Day. So I have a red rose, and these are just little, faux leather paper clips.
Those are so cute.
Yeah, they are pretty cute.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anyway, these are for paper planner people, so they can actually put them in their planner.
All right. So that's today, and if they're signed up for today, they get those designs for free. Is that right?
Yes, so I have those four designs, and then I think at the end of my workshop, I say if you want to get four more designs, because I realized I have so many flower designs that I've
Mm-hmm.
used for earrings and other things, then they can get four more if they do my fun little thing at the end of the presentation.
So that
So
is the
yeah.
Planner Summit, and that's kind of what we've got
Mhm.
going for that. But Amy, today we're going to talk to Jamela Payne, and she is
Yay.
the host of the Beyond Design Space Summit. So what are you doing for that?
I'm super excited for that one. So Jamila wanted us to do a presentation to help Cricut crafters sort of, expand their horizons in terms of design possibilities outside of Design Space. So I did my presentation on Canva, and I showed how I use templates in Canva to create like little smaller accessory and jewelry size designs.
Okay.
So I show them how to create a template, and then I give them my template also on how I make like little. So let me see.
Yeah, I think I need. So when you say small jewelry, oh, look at
So
how
like
cute that
earrings,
is.
yeah. So it's a little hard to see, but
Oh, I
this
love that
pattern,
style.
this print is like a large, piece of scrapbook paper size print that I downloaded or found somewhere. So it's really big. So if you just tried to cut earrings out of it, the flowers would be super big. So I show you how to make like a little small frame as a template in Canva and drag the design into it, and so that it
Ooh.
it scales the pattern down. And then I also show them how to make the little symmetrical, the other side of the earring. So the earrings are symmetrical because, that's really important to
Oh,
me,
it is.
especially with sublimation. But those are sublimation. But yeah, I did Canva. What did you do?
Actually, I didn't think about that, how they have the frames that automatically resize. That is kind of like, that's a super smart tip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. Because otherwise, you'd just be sitting there trying to, like, use, drag and pull and stuff like that. And yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Canva is something that I think you're doing more and more with. Are you liking
Yeah.
it?
I do. I love Canva, and I love that it's free. A lot of my stud videos on how to make photo stud videos on YouTube, I use Canva. So I try to call out. I have Canva Pro, but I try to call out when, excuse me, when I'm using a pro feature. I really just as many free features as I can. But Canva is growing. The my One of my boys wanted to make an ad for our neighborhood Facebook group
Hmm.
for like a service that he wanted to offer, and his friend came over to make the ad, and then his friend was like, "Oh, you want to just make it in Canva?" And Chase said, "What is
Ah,
that?" I said, "Not
actually,
only do we have Canva, I have
it
Canva
make
Pro."
well, and it just makes you feel cool too, because you're like, something that the kids are like, oh yeah, using. I was
Yeah.
talking to my daughter or my son's girlfriends here visiting. Super
Mm-hmm.
cute. Oh my gosh, I just want to squeeze her. She's
Aw.
adorable. But she was working on a homework. She's doing a summer school class in college, and she was like talking about a present or an infographic, and I'm like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna make that in Canva? And she thinking like, I was gonna be cool, and she's like, yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, all right.
So you'll have to ask her if she has Canva Pro free, because this college kid who lives down the street told Chase that he has Canva Pro also because he's a student and it's
Oh,
free.
I will ask her. But yeah,
And
it's
I
crazy
have not
cool
heard that.
for college students. I mean, can you imagine
Oh
how
yeah,
easy it is to whip up a graph or some kind of,
yeah. I use
presentations?
I use Canva a lot. So for my club, I do the little video every week, and then I made like this little graphic intro. It's like just 3 or 4 seconds where the weekly, the logo flies in and out, and then the
Yeah.
design flies in and out. And it's really easy for me. I just update it every week. I make a copy, I put the new design in, I change the text, and I download it. And I give it to Chase to make the video. And then I also give them printable instructions every week, and those are all in Canva.
Oh,
I
that's
make all my
sweet.
social media posts in Canva. I love it,
Wow.
but I'm fluent in Photoshop. I know Photoshop. So
Uh-huh.
I used to use Photoshop all the time, but now I
I was
really
gonna
just
say,
use
I didn't
Photoshop.
realize you were using Canva this much, because I think last
Yeah.
time we talked about it, you were like, "Oh, Canva's scary." I mean, but that must have been like a long time ago, because it sounds like you've been
Yeah, I
using it for a
use it.
while.
I use it a lot, but I kind of just use it for the same things over and over again. I don't know if I've ever gotten like really jiggy with it. I think you do more complicated stuff with it or cool
I don't
stuff.
know.
I just kind of do the same stuff.
Well, I mean,
But
I think
anyway,
that that's part of making any program work for you. You don't have to
mhm,
know it super well. You just have to like know enough to be able to do what you want to do with it. So
that's
that's what
right.
you're teaching in your course today. So showing them how
Yeah.
to use Canva for sublimation earrings.
Yes.
Cool.
So tell us what you're doing
Oh, I have to
in
kind
the
of show you
DM.
a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so look at this.
Ooh.
All right, so this is I show people how to use Procreate, of course, because that's my favorite design app. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing them how to do these funky, cool backgrounds. Can you guys hear me? So
Yeah.
this is actually a template, the size for a Cricut, like a 15-ounce mug. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I did is I just did lines in the background, and then I swished the lines to make them like
Mm-hmm.
wavy. And then I have a brush set for people called the Groovy Brush Set that is free as part of my workshop. And I tried doing a whole bunch of different tie-dye effects because I thought that would be fun.
Yeah. I love that.
So so then I went ahead and just kind of show you kind of how to pull things together. I did this one, but then I decided that that was actually song lyrics and that maybe that's like not cool. So then I didn't give anybody that one. So
It's not exactly because that's actually Nick's baseball walk-up song.
is
Shine
it?
Bright Like a Diamond. Yes.
Oh,
By
because that
Rihanna.
does work.
Yes. That's Nick's walk-up song
Well,
for baseball.
I think this is Pink Floyd. So
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know that one.
yeah. But yeah, I actually show how to do like, I mean, this turned out pretty cool. I thought, I mean, that looks pretty tie-dye. What do you guys
Oh
think?
my gosh, that is so cool. I
So,
love that.
anyways, I think I showed you guys in the live a little bit last week, kind of like how to do like the liquefied. That's actually
Yeah.
kind of I haven't done that for an event before, is show you guys that stuff. So I'm gonna go hide my just camera and go back to this and go back to that. And since I'm switching cameras, should we go ahead and bring on our special guest?
Yes, I would love to.
All right, so
That's
I'm really
awesome.
excited to introduce Jamela. Jamela is a new friend that, well, because we've all known Jamila for a while. It's like you kind of know people on the periphery, but I've gotten to know her a lot better in the last year or so, and it's been so fun because she is just fun and funky, and I just love getting, and so smart and so good at the organization. It's just crazy. So I'm gonna like, I think I've got your sound on, and this is Jamela Payne from ColorMeCrafty.net.
Hello.
Hi, Jamila. Thanks for being here with
Hi.
us.
Thanks for having me.
So
We,
yeah, let's. Oh,
we were just,
people are saying hi to you in the chat, so that's awesome. So
Hello,
Jamila,
everybody.
you've been doing the crafting gig for a while now.
Yep. I
And
quit my full time job in 2017 to
oh,
do
wow.
pretty much what I'm doing for the most part. Things have evolved and changed over the years a little bit, but
and
the
so do you
Wow,
craft is full.
that's a long time
and
then.
do you
Yeah,
love the craft part of it?
I do. I was introduced to crafting when I was 6 years old by my grandmother. She taught me how to make friendship bracelets.
Mm,
And
Oh, wow.
then she taught me
that's
how to
so cool.
crochet and like I don't know. I just love it. I love the calm of crafting.
So you
Yeah.
like the physically making things and just the way that it kind of makes your brain just kind of settle down and
Yes,
focus. I love that
yes.
about it too. It's like just kind of putting the blinders on and shutting other things out and really being
It's
able
almost
to,
like meditation or,
yeah. But I think it also pings that dopamine because, it's a little bit of a, you start working something and it doesn't quite work, so you're problem solving. And then it kind of
Hmm.
comes
right,
together. And that moment that it just comes together is like, whew.
right.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
Jamila, tell us, you decided to create a Beyond a Design Space Summit. So this is actually your second year. So tell us why
Yep.
Beyond
We're
Design
thinking.
Space.
Well, because I think it's important for people to own their designs, I guess is the best way to put it. Especially people who are creating to sell. Everything that you
Yeah.
build out in design space belongs to design space. Like if you decide to get a different cutter, you can't take those designs with you. And learning how to design yourself is also really good for being unique in a space where there are so many crafters.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
Those are two really important points that I hadn't really
yeah,
thought of
that's,
as
yeah.
two really important reasons, but they're huge.
yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know if
you
a
can
lot of
go on
people know that.
Etsy, right? You can go on Etsy and search for an SVG, and there are 50 listings for the same SVG. But
Hmm.
if you create it yourself, you know that there's not another one out there exactly like this design.
Right. That's
yeah.
true.
I told people that last year with your summit because I was showing people how to do SVGs from Procreate because I feel like it's so important because like you said, it's locked into design space if you do in design space. So if you know enough to use any other kind of program and you don't need to know a ton, just enough,
No.
then you can go ahead and you can save your work onto your own computer.
Mhm.
So if something were to ever happen to design space, you still have it. You
Hmm.
can sell it if you like. You can't sell
Hmm.
something that's you don't have, and you can
Right.
share it. So I try to share
Yeah.
my Procreate design, like some of my Cricut Design Space designs, because I pull in Procreate elements or other elements. I'm not allowed to share them through that platform
Right.
because I have the copyright and they don't, and so there's it really hampers what you're doing. So I think that just even like, what is your favorite design program to use?
Mine,
Yeah.
it is Adobe Illustrator. I like Adobe Illustrator I like Photoshop, and I like Canva. So it just kind of depends on what I'm doing. I don't necessarily use Canva for like SVG and sublimation design, but like graphics and social media and things like that are all done in Canva. But Photoshop, I do a lot of my sublimation design. But Adobe Illustrator is by far my favorite because there's just so much that you can do. Um, those inflated designs that people are putting on tumblers, like I did in my class, I don't know that you can do that anywhere else. Like I don't know that you can blow up and inflate and make it look balloony
Ooh, that's
in any other
cool.
program.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that you did that. Like, I didn't know how you
Yeah,
did that. Can we see?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look
Oh,
at
So
that's
it
that.
kind of
really
looks
cool.
tough,
It does. It looks
Oh, that's
but
really
three-dimensional.
cool.
it
Yeah.
reminds me of those stickers that we used to have,
Uh-huh.
The
probably
puffy
in
ones?
the 90s, the puffy ones. Yep, yep.
I've
But
tried
yeah, I
recreating
like
those and I can't.
Adobe Illustrator because like I'm always discovering something new in that program. Like I'm always, it's amazing. I love it. I love Adobe Illustrator.
So
But I use all of Adobe's stuff, so also.
I think if we did a poll, I think that a lot of the people that are doing the craft businesses, I think a lot of them are doing Adobe stuff because it was kind of
Yeah.
like the name. Like I remember doing Photoshop stuff back when I was in like I did print shop. That's what I did. Like in like third, fourth grade. Did you guys ever do print
Hmm.
shop?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
And I think
I
that
don't
evolved
remember.
into Photoshop and evolved into the whole Adobe suite. Print shop was
Uh,
it was for making cards. It was like so that must have been 1981 or something like that. Yeah, it was like the first print like software program to make your own things. Let's see if anybody else knows print shop. We'll give it up for print shop here. But yeah, I feel like Adobe is something that a lot of people start with and love. And it has the whole suite and all works together.
I actually started with Inkscape and then I even tried GIMP.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, and they both were, I don't know, kind of confusing maybe for
Clunky.
me. Yeah, that's the word. And then I discovered the Adobe all, the what is it, all apps subscription,
Uh-huh.
and
The
I was
creative
already
something or
using,
other.
yeah, I was already using Lightroom and Premiere Pro, so I was like, I might as well, and I tried it and I fell in love.
Yeah. So I do feel like the price is a hindrance for a lot of people,
Hmm.
but I also will say that the people that I know that use it are absolutely like, yes, it's totally worth it. You get
Yeah,
a lot for
it is,
that.
especially if you are creating to either sell the designs or sell the products that you're making from these designs, it'll pay for itself
Hmm.
like in no
That's
time.
true. That's true. And they also have a student version. Like
Yeah.
I have it myself.
Hmm.
The whatever the all suite or whatever it's called, the creative suite. And then I bought it for Chase so he can make my videos and he gets the student version. So I think his is like 29.99 a month,
Yeah.
where mine's, 59 or whatever. But it's if you're a small business, it's a business expense and
I have a secret too. I heard this secret. I don't know if it still works, but if you go and you like, or if you go and you like do the free trial and then you let it lapse, they send you a thing saying, "Oh, you can get it at this deal."
Yeah.
I've heard that.
oh
I've heard
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, that's smart.
They want to keep you,
Yeah, if you're
so
like
they'll
a
offer you
Right.
a
first
better
time or new
deal.
person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, well, we all know what my favorite design program is. But I've
We
also,
do.
I do, but I use Canva. I have done Affinity. I actually use Affinity Publisher for my books. And then I'm like all over the place. I've used Affinity Designer on iPad. But
Mhm.
then I think I keep going back to Silhouette Studio is what I started with, like
Mm.
before Procreate, before everything else. So Silhouette Studio is one that I'm extremely comfortable with, and I feel like even though it's a little clunky compared to what some of the, because Arlene said it's clunky, to some of the other programs, I feel like because it's actually created for crafters, it's a really good intermediate step for people that are starting to, or beginner step for people that are starting to want to design their own crafts. It's a pretty simple interface, and I feel like it's pretty simple to understand. And it, especially for text designs, it's so easy. But then I feel like a lot of people will go, their next step up would be Adobe products. You know, once you've kind of tried it, you kind of know that you do want to design in vector. So does everybody understand the difference between vector and raster, I think? Because that was something I didn't understand. Do you guys
That's a
want to
good
explain it
question.
quick?
That's a good question.
I guess the best way to explain it is, you know, especially for Cricut users, you have a layered design or you have a flat design. And rasters are always going to be flat designs.
So like the print and
Yes,
cut
and that's-
in
yeah,
photos.
like a print and cut. You don't have your layers or you don't have your colors separated into layers. In a vector, you will have your colors separated into layers. So it would be like the difference between an SVG and a PNG or a JPEG.
Yep. So SVG is vector, and it's when you
Yeah,
create with vector designs, you're creating with shapes a lot of the time, and lines
right.
and little nodes that you can drag the
Yeah,
lines of the shape. So like a rubber band, right? And then it can change things, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter how much it changes shapes because it's just like this rubber band that you can
right.
keep pulling. But then you use it for things like cut files. So I think everybody's like familiar with SVGs because of Cricut Design Space now. I didn't know what they were before that.
Neither did I.
Did I? I don't think I did either.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, even with the very first Cricut that came out, the little 6-inch one, I was like hell bent on figuring out how to make my own design. So I was using, what was that
How did
program
you do
called?
with that? Because those are
What
all
was it
cartridges.
called? It's like um, Sir Scales a lot, or I don't know.
Sure cuts a
I can't
lot?
remember. Sure cuts a lot. That's what I
Yeah,
was
somebody just
using.
mentioned that in the chat too.
That's what I
I
was
saw that.
using to create designs when I had the little 6-inch, Cricut machine when they first came out. And back then I was just scrapbooking. Like I was
Hmm.
just using it for
Oh,
scrapbooking.
I think a
But
lot of
I
us start that
knew
way.
I didn't want to buy a million cartridges to, to do all the things that I wanted to do. So, yeah.
So that's a thing for all of us, I think. We don't like limits. Like
No.
let's ask in the chat who here is hates the limits. So I think a lot of us as crafters, we keep going into new things. Like we try the next thing, or we see like sublimation. Sublimation, I
Right.
was like, hard no, not gonna do it. That was a limit. But then I started to see the projects that were possible with sublimation, and I started seeing that, okay, well, I'm not limited to like 2, 3, 4 colors. I can actually go
Right.
into like the whole thing with print and cut, and so that moved me more, or moved me into that realm of, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. I want to learn sublimation. So what is like, Amy? You did sublimation before you did Cricut.
I did.
Oh,
I did a lot of sublimation, and I did it in Illustrator just because that's what I had learned how to design in from a previous job that I had. Let's see. But Adobe Illustrator, like Jamila was saying, it has so many other cool things you can do with it. Like, I don't know. I think I have an idea of how she did the bubble thing, and I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna play around with it just before I watch her presentation just to see if I'm right. But I didn't know that that's how she did that. So there's so many things I don't know how to do. You can do like 3D graphics in Illustrator,
yeah.
um, like cool perspective things. Like I've never done any of that stuff.
You can turn any of your designs into a scribble. That's probably one of my favorites
Oh,
is
see, I haven't done
the
that.
little scribble. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And the bloat and pucker, I love those as well for like making little flowers and things like that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
now
see
you
that
guys are like taunting me. I just got done
that
saying I don't like having any limits, and now you're taunting me with things I don't know how to do. I do think that I do think putting, like, I call it putting the blinders on, but a lot of times as an artist, it's like if you have just a blank screen, it's like hard to know where to start. But if you have some kind of, and I guess it is like Canyon Mom said, more like guidelines. So having some kind of like a idea in mind, like, okay, I'm going to try doing this in this, or I'm going to try to make the bubble thing, or you give yourself some kind of box of sorts to kind of work within, and it makes it easier to get above that scared white page. Like, what do you guys, I mean, do you feel like you usually go in trying to like know that you're going to design this sort of thing? Like, I'm going to design earrings with margaritas? Or do you like feel like you just kind of like go in and you're trying to decide, how do I do this? How do I learn this technique? Is it more product or is it more technique? Or do you have any idea?
For me, for me, it's more technique. Like I see something, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. So for me, I guess it's more technique. And I think that's probably where I get stuck because then, I figure out how to do this. Now, what am I going to make?
Yeah, I
I'm
do
I'm
love.
probably the opposite. I always know what I'm trying to make, and I don't really spend a lot of time fooling around. I just figure out how to get to the end result, which probably isn't as much fun. But
I don't know. I think they're both ways of being creative. I feel like the mad scientist, he's like sitting there tossing everything into the beaker or whatever, is
hmm
being creative as much as the person who is sitting there trying to, replicate a sunset. So I feel like there's like the observer versus like the experimenter are two different
hmm
kind of creative personalities, and both of them are pioneers in ways. For the person trying to figure, Van Gogh trying to figure out how to show light, to, was it like the ones that just toss everything in and just see how it blows up, or it's a different way of being creative.
that's
So
true.
Jamila, tell us, with the Beyond Design Space Summit, what kind of programs are people actually demonstrating? And are they project oriented, or are they just doing introductions? Like, what can our people expect?
So the majority of the classes are project oriented. There's a in product or in project for most of the classes. And this year we have a really good variety. We have Canva, Affinity, Procreate, Illustrator. We have some Inkscape,
You have
Silhouette
silhouette.
Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow,
So
that's like
there is,
everything.
yeah, there's a
You
wide variety. And I think last year we had a lot more illustrators than anything. Like a lot of people were teaching in
Oh, it
Illustrator.
does feel like it was kind of heavy on Illustrator last year.
hmm hmm So I wanted to mix it up a little bit more this year and show some more options. But I think the great thing about most design programs is they're very similar in how um, you do things. I guess like if I was designing a text-based SVG in Illustrator, there is a way to figure out how to do that in Inkscape. You just, so we
So
have
you're
a,
saying once you kind of know one thing, it's easier to move into something else?
I
I
think so.
I do
Yes.
too. I think that we end up like when you talk to people that are designing, often they have experience with more than one program,
Mhm.
and often
Right.
are
Right.
switching back and forth because they have different strengths in each.
And then there's a lot of preference because there are people that love Inkscape, but I don't care for it
Yeah,
as much, Like I've seen or I've um, talked to a few crafters who that's all they ever use. They don't want to use anything else. They love Inkscape. And I think it's that way with a lot of different programs. Like you just kind of like what you like,
yeah,
and that's how we end up with experience in so many different programs.
yep,
Yep. And like April was saying, she wishes there was a way to just know what she likes without having to spend money. And really, in an event like this, where you have all these different creators showcasing the different softwares, you can kind of sit back and watch a project being created in real time using all these
Mm.
different softwares. and you can kind of say, oh, that looks easy, like my brain understands that. Or you might
Yeah.
say, oh, that's too complicated, I don't get that. And it helps narrow down the choices of software you might want to look at. And a lot of these have free trials,
I was just
or
gonna say that. Like, there's
yeah,
a lot of ones that either have a free trial or free version that's more
yeah,
limited
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
can then go ahead and, like, I know that Adobe, or sorry, Silhouette Studio has a free version.
mm-hmm,
yeah,
It doesn't have the rhinestone capability. It doesn't have, you can't save something in SVG, but there are workarounds. But it at least gets you trying it without feeling like you have to commit to something you're not sure
yeah.
you're comfortable with.
yeah,
And Adobe
yeah.
has a
No, I
free
love
trial, right?
Yeah, they have a 7-day free trial.
that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
This event is a great way to get sort of a little sample of all these different
yeah,
programs,
yeah,
and you
So,
can just kind of, see if you want to explore more.
yeah.
So these events, like we're in them, and then I start looking at them because I'm like, oh, let's see how this one works, and I start seeing all the different things that are offered. I'm like, man, there goes my like next 3 days. It's kind of funny. So Jamila,
I'm
what did you
saying,
did? You did the blow up as part of your as a
yeah,
workshop.
the inflated design. Yep,
Well, now
I
I gotta
showed
watch that.
I know, I need to
how
watch
we
that
put
one.
it together.
So what
How we
other
put it
ones should our
together
people
and
be
how
like? What other ones do you think are amazing? I think I saw new people this year, like that I haven't seen before.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There were a couple. There's a few new faces. We have Cosmos Inc. We have Silky Socks. I've never had Laura. Is it Laura Lambert? Yeah, Laura Lambert. I've never had her in one of
She's
my
so
events.
cute.
I think she's been in a few events, but there are quite a few new faces, at
So
least for me and my events.
yeah,
We love
I'm
Laura. I found her on the Instagrams.
Yes, it was actually Amy that
For
discovered her,
Instagram.
and then
Yeah.
then asked her to come do our event. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is the cutest thing ever, and I
Oh,
love her sense of style. And she is
Yeah.
just, I mean, all these people that are just, it's fun to see them start out and then just really get into it and develop,
Right.
what they're doing. And even
hmm
it's kind of fun to see people kind of develop their niche because it's
Yeah.
something then, they're trying all the things and then they find what they're passionate about and
hmm
really go into it. Um,
and when you identify what your niche is as a creator or a designer, it's even more important to be able to make your own designs. Like
True.
when I was
Right.
doing the coffee mugs on Amazon, my niche was occupations. So it was coffee mugs for different occupations. And if you can always find like a best nurse or best doctor, best teacher. You can find those designs on Etsy. But I needed, respiratory therapist and occupational therapist. And so I had to learn how to create those myself. So if you're a designer in a niche and you can create your own designs, then that really expands your reach and helps you develop your product assortment.
Oh
And
yeah,
helps you be unique.
yeah,
Um,
Yes.
and like this space is pretty saturated.
it is.
So you have to find a way to stand out,
hmm
amongst the crowd.
And using other people's designs, ain't it?
No, nope, especially when
No,
there's 50 different shops on Etsy selling the exact same design.
exact same thing. That's true.
I do think that for me, so I started off by giving designs, and I've turned into like I actually teach Procreate, but I give them the tools, but the brush sets, and I feel like
And
that is really fun for me to be able to give them the ability then to create their own things. So
hmm
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun to
I love
see.
that. That's awesome.
So actually, I have a list of questions I was going to ask you, and then we get wrapped up into our into our thing, and it kind of lose track. But I think there was something. Um,
Should we first just have Jamila tell us the dates of the event and how you can get your ticket and all that good stuff?
Very smart, Amy. Let's do that so we make sure we get that part.
so the event kicks off next Tuesday on the 17th at 6 p.m. We're going to do a live kickoff call over on my YouTube channel and
Ooh, fun.
my Facebook page. So I think it's streaming to Instagram too. I can't remember. But the event actually starts at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on the 18th, and it runs through the 20th. Each day's classes, you'll have 24 hours to check all of those out, and they're like anywhere between 9 and 11 classes per day.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
That's
really, people
awesome.
have to kind of pick and choose what they want to watch,
Mhm.
unless they get the
Mhm.
VIP pass.
Yes.
Right.
And VIP is always worth it because you can go back. I think, um, at least for me, because I've purchased quite a few VIP passes.
Oh yeah, we all have.
And
I
for
think everybody in the
me,
chat has too.
yeah, I like being able to go back and reference what I learned from that video.
We have if you want to get a free ticket, we have the free ticket link in the description of this video. And if you request, we see Sandy, if you get your free ticket, after you get your free ticket and you reserve it, then you'll get to see the VIP pass option, which if you're not interested, you can just close out that window and Jamila will send you an email about the free pass. But that'll have the pricing for you for the VIP and all the bonuses and the perks.
Yeah.
So that's a great option. Paula has her ticket. Yeah, Kathleen says she always tries to get the VIP. I do too, because I always think I'm going to be free that day or those days, and never am. So I feel like I miss out.
So Paula
I
said she
don't
can't
have.
wait
Yeah.
to get her brush set for the VIP from the Planner Summit. Okay, guys, last night Jamila was so sweet and she texted me or messaged me and she's like, I think there might be a problem. And okay, COVID brain, I set everything up and then I sent her the link and it was completely the wrong link. So I think that is all fixed now, but you can go ahead
It
and
is.
is it? Okay. So of course you can always email me and ask me too. But seriously, that was a completely COVID brain. I went through the list and everything was checked off and I was good. And I didn't realize that it was the wrong, all the wrong things. So yeah, you were so sweet with that, Jamila, and just I think you need there might be a problem here. And then I'm like, no. So that's good now. So you guys can go ahead and get that VIP.
Awesome. And if you don't get the VIP, it's cool. You just kind of go through the schedule and, like we always recommend, pick 2 or 3 sessions that you really want to watch. Watch those first. A lot of times there's a printable worksheet. Jamila, do you have a little printable or something for free pass holders to take notes?
Not for there. There is not a printable for the free pass holders.
Oh, okay.
There is
In the
a
VIP?
workbook with the
Okay.
steps and instructions attached to each class for the VIP pass holders.
Gotcha. Okay. But within that 24 hours, you can easily, sit down, write some notes on
Yeah,
your favorite sessions.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. That's awesome.
And as soon as
I'm super excited about it.
sorry, once you sign up for your free pass, you'll immediately get an email and you can see the schedule page, and it's broken down, for the 3 days, and it tells you exactly what is being taught, who's teaching it. So that makes it easy for you to figure out what classes you absolutely need to attend,
Yeah.
for you personally.
Well, and I think too,
Right.
once you kind of get a taste of the different programs, then you can kind of say, all right, this is the one that I'm interested in. Then you can just go and find, the ones with
Yeah.
that. Did you already say that already? Because I kind of phased out for a second.
No. I did a little
Sorry.
bit ago. So cool.
So one thing that Jamila and I have bonded on is that we both have adult ADD, and so the whole squirrel thing is real, and we both
Yeah.
talk about it. Actually, it turns out that the little mastermind that we started for course create crafty course people, I think everybody in it has ADD, and we're all trying to figure it out as an adult and as owning a business, or just really
Everything.
trying to balance. It's been a trip, but it's been fun to do it with some other people. So.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. I'm glad you have that support,
Yeah,
because
it really is. And that's actually how Amy and I got started too, is we just kind of met, we started doing a little mastermind group and, just coming along aside other people and trying to help each other solve problems. I
Yeah.
love that community.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
do
you need
too.
to hear things from someone else for you to get it.
Yeah. And so
We're
that's
really
kind of
hard on ourselves as humans. We're really hard on ourselves. So sometimes you need a little bit of a kick in the butt from someone on the outside looking in to tell you, hey, this is fine. You're fine. You got
Yeah.
this.
And just having someone who understands what you do. Like I was thinking, my kids were talking about something, and my husband said we were talking about digital products, and he said, "But you don't sell anything. Like, what are your products?" I told him, "What do you mean? Of course, I have my whole business is digital products." He was like, "But you don't sell anything. Like, the people in your house don't necessarily understand what you do or, how your business is set up. So it's so nice to have, like, I text Jen all day long with little things, and we kind of understand what each other's working on. And,
Oh,
if you tried to
totally.
try to explain that to someone in your house, it would be very challenging, at
Yeah.
least in my house. Yeah.
And mine too. I have
Yeah.
3 teenage girls and a husband who's a caveman. So yeah, trying to explain things. I try, but I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think
They,
I
they
like
don't really care, though.
so you guys,
They're
No.
not
we've
really.
met virtually. We haven't actually met in person. And I think I love that about the online world. So like, everybody here in the chat today, I mean, all your names are familiar to me because we've all been hanging out. We've done the summits. We do it weekly. And I think that it's just so much it's like so amazing that we have this opportunity and time to come together as a community and the
Hmm.
different things that we all kind of are interested in share that interest without being like
Hmm.
off on our own and being like the one person that likes what we like and nobody else does and
Right.
Right. And it's a very supportive community. Like there is no, I'm in competition with you.
right.
No. It's definitely, what is the
Lots of
saying?
sharing.
Community, like
Yeah, I think the
collaborate.
crafting community, it's crazy because when I first started blogging, I went from coupon blog to
Oh, did you?
review
Did
blog
you?
to recipe blog and then to craft. I still have my recipe blog though. But with coupon blogging and review blogging, nobody wanted to share how they were getting where they were. And
Oh.
Interesting.
I feel like this community is we're a lot more about networking
Mm-hmm.
and not seeing each other as sisters, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
More so than hey, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing, so we can't be friends.
Oh, yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
friends with you. I like to be
Yeah.
friends.
Right.
And it has
Yeah.
been so much fun to get to know you this last year more too. So
Yeah.
kind of,
I love getting to know people and
yeah.
meeting new people. Our jobs are very isolating, so it's cool to have someone to talk to.
Yep.
Yeah. The other day, Jamila messaged me at like 10 o'clock at night, and she said, "Oh, I saw this thing and it made me think of you because I know it's something you're interested in." And she
Yeah.
sent me a link, and I thought that was cool. That was cool. Even though
I'm
she and I
always
don't
sharing.
talk. Yeah,
And were
she
you
and I don't
interested in
talk.
Amy?
Yes, I was interested, and I totally followed through on what she suggested
So she
that
was
I
watching
get.
out for you, and
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. But it's
yeah,
neat when someone says, "Oh, this made me think of you," or "I know you're interested in this."
it
So
does. It makes
that's
you feel cared for. It makes you feel seen. Um,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. But also, it's information that's kind of, she could have just kept it to herself and not shared it and just kept the information for herself. But
I shared
um,
something in our mastermind yesterday. Like I'm trying to because I do so many different things in my business, I'm trying to figure out how to word that in a way that people can understand that it's not real confusing. So I call him my work husband, Chat GTP. And, you know, I,
Ah,
I did a little prompt and I'm like, hey, my name is such and such. I need you to search the internet and find all of the things that I do in my business so I can better relay what it is that I do. And it came up with this amazing list, which included links that I didn't even know was out there.
all on
oh,
So,
you.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I shared it in our mastermind
Yeah,
chat.
I saw it. It was really, it was
Yeah,
like,
it was real so detailed and it was
yeah.
crazy. I was like,
It even had a picture of you that it pulled from
yeah,
somewhere. So it's pulling all
yeah,
Oh
these
my
different
gosh,
things.
that's
Amy's
cool.
totally
yeah.
gonna do it now.
No,
That is
I'm
really cool.
always sharing.
But I think what I liked about that with the ChatGPT is you asked it to kind of, kind of define who you were according to like what was out there, the content.
And
And
it
so it
was
came back with all
crazy.
these
Like,
different hats.
yeah, like it outlined absolutely everything that I do in my business, and I was like, wow.
It was akin to like asking somebody what
Like
they do as a mother and then coming
yeah,
back with the chauffeur and the
or
grocery
or
shopper
a
and
mom trying to create a resume after being a stay-at-home mom for years, and you have to, put a name to all
Right.
these things that you
Right.
yeah,
yep,
it was awesome.
first aid responder. And yeah, it's just like there's
Yeah.
so many different things. And sometimes you don't realize you're doing them. Like with our crafters, you guys don't realize that if you sat down and paid attention, you probably know things about, all these different
Social media
crafts.
management, like that's a huge
Yeah.
one for almost any crafter. Like uh you become a social media manager because you're sharing your things constantly.
And you don't know what you know.
A marketing expert because you're sharing your things.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty fun. All right, so we've got, let's see, oh, it's almost been an hour. How does the time fly like this?
It
All right,
just flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
so we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat, and you guys are being so awesome and cool. And I love this community. Let's see, so again, so you do have a VIP pass available for the Beyond Design Space Summit. And there
I
is a
do.
link to the summit in our description for this. So, Jamila, you're getting excited?
Yes. Excited, nervous. I always get nervous. It's like um the plans for a really big trip. Like the closer it gets, the more excited and nervous I get. But yeah, I'm excited.
We can relate to that. It's
Yeah,
the like
a
the
lot of I
first
know you
day
guys can
panic.
relate
You're
to
just
this
like,
part
oh.
too. A lot of planning goes into one of these summits. So
Yes.
for probably the last 5, 6 months, like I'm planning, and now it's almost here.
You're so good because you start planning the next event as soon as that event is like the one ahead is done. Like I
I
remember
start
that. You're
planning.
just like, I'm working
Listen,
on
I
this. I'm
start
like,
planning the next event before I even get to
Wow. We
the
need a break.
like
Like Jen
already
and I.
in my head, like I'm planning the next big thing.
because you're so excited by the possibilities.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
so
awesome.
so if we look right, so Beyond Design Space that starts next week, but they can get a ticket already. Do they
Yep.
get
Mhm.
access to the videos right away?
Yeah, not with the free pass, but with VIP pass, you get access to the videos immediately after you sign up, after you make the purchase. So you can get started right away. There is a Facebook community that everybody gets access to right away, where you can chat and ask questions, introduce yourself.
And people are already sharing their creations. I saw someone
Yes, I
do
saw those
some
awesome
mason
earrings.
earrings. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I
Using
haven't
my
been in the
like
group yet.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to pop in and take a look.
that made me super excited. I
yeah.
always love in a summit Facebook group, like seeing the first people that make your project. I love that.
Oh, Amy texts me. She's like, "Did you see? Did you see? Did you see?" And like,
Yeah.
yeah, we get so excited about that.
We do.
I'm
That's my
always
favorite part.
excited with my things when somebody else is excited and an attendee is excited
Hmm.
because imposter syndrome plagues me. And I always, like, in my head, I
Oh
always
yeah,
make myself feel like, okay, this isn't good enough. You need to do more. But when I get validation from
Yeah.
someone who is attending, that really helps with taking some of that doubt I have about myself or about what I'm doing. It takes
yeah.
it away.
Hmm.
I think we all feel that. Actually, Amy, before we got started. Oh no, Jamila, you were saying I don't feel like I'm a designer
Yeah,
necessarily, even though that is literally what you
that's
do.
literally what I am. Yep. Yep. I design my own crafts. Design my own crafts.
So, Amy, what do
Yeah.
you tell people you do?
I usually tell them I'm a content creator. I got my
Same.
hair cut the other day, and I
I was
told the
gonna
girl,
mention that. It looked so much
yeah,
shorter.
it
It
is
looked
shorter.
pretty.
Tomorrow I'm
Somebody in
going
the
to get.
comment asked about your hair too.
Oh, really? Tomorrow I'm going
Yeah.
to get colored. I'm very excited because it's going
Ooh.
super gray. Olivia picked the
I
salon,
need to
and
do
she
the
went with
same.
me, and it was a whole thing. But the hairstylist asked me what I do, and I told her I was a professional crafter. And then it was funny because she told me how she's getting married and she's making everything for her wedding with her Cricut
Wow.
from the invitation. So then we talked the whole appointment about what she's making with her Cricut. So that was kind of
Oh.
fun.
So,
But
what are you
yeah,
gonna do with your hair? Purple,
you know,
pink, red.
I'm gonna go a little, try to go back to my strawberry blonde a little bit because
So
that's
you
really
were.
what my hair used to be.
So Olivia's hair is pretty dark red.
It
So,
is. And Anthony's hair is auburn, dark red, and so is Chase's. Chase's is a lighter red,
but you were a
but all
strawberry
three of
red.
them. Yeah, but now it's like blonde. Really, it's so light because it's gray mixed in with just blonde. And then the hairdressing lights in the salon, oh, they were terrible. I just looked like a giant gray Q-tip.
So
So
my gal calls those sparkles. She's like, we're gonna just, touch up the sparkles.
yeah,
And I'm like,
I got a lot of sparkles, a lot of sparkles.
I always
Yeah,
think,
no,
Jamila, your hair is so cute too.
Linda, I will not be coloring my hair. I've never ever done that in my whole life. And I told Olivia she's allowed to do a lot of things, but she can never color her hair. So
Really?
yeah, I don't have a lot of rules in terms of like haircuts, but I don't want her coloring her hair because it's such
I,
a beautiful natural color.
okay, so she
And
does
then
it. She even has streaks and things in hers, like naturally, like
yes,
a
her
little
hair
bit.
is stunning.
Yes.
You know, I don't want her messing with it. But anyway, yes, I tell people I'm a professional crafter, which is fun. What about you,
Yeah.
Jen? What do you tell people you do?
Kyle, it kind of depends on who I am talking to. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to sit and explain it to them, then I just give them some kind of, whatever answer. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's somebody that I'm interested in and I really kind of want to feel like a connection, then I kind of explain a little bit more. Or if they ask kind of like more of a, maybe I'll just say something, they'll ask it, lead another question, then I'll
Mm-hmm.
start explaining it. But pretty soon their eyes are glazing. Or you can see them like
Yeah.
they'll start saying like, and you make money doing that? This is a
Right.
job, and they'll be just like it completely blows their mind, and then they just kind of shut down. So it's really kind of funny because you guys all get it, like how cool and fun and awesome it is. But yeah, it's really funny to see other people try to wrap their brains around it.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
you're a teacher, but you don't teach class, and then like, but
Right.
wait a minute, you don't teach at a school, and so it's really funny because
I
just trying to
usually
wrap it
tell
around.
I usually tell people that I'm a content creator who teaches people how to craft.
Yeah,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's just a very simple and straight to the point, answer. And if they have more questions, they can ask more questions.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
Like,
like that. That's
I
pretty easy.
used to try to really explain it,
and
and
it's
people
just
are
like,
just like,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean they don't even want to know.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I like to kind of. It used to be like that would put me off when people ask, "What do you do?" I mean, it's such a common question to get to know people a little more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was back when I was like, I want to be an artist, and I wasn't really doing much like anything near art at the time, so I felt really kind of bad because I felt like that's who I was inside, but I couldn't really explain it because the next question would be, well, do you make money doing that? And I
Right.
didn't, right?
Right.
So it was just kind of like this instant, like, oh. So I started just kind of like, glossing over it. But eventually I did start saying, I'm an artist or I'm an author or I'm because I was kind of doing magazine articles or I would just say, you know what, I'm staying home right now and enjoying that. So kind of wherever you are, it was more of a,
Mhm.
me owning that, that I'm happy where I'm at doing what I'm doing. So yeah, it's a
I
thing.
love that.
So, oh, we're at an hour here. So, any, like, see, last things, you guys.
I have
I saw
something
that
to
someone
mention.
asked.
Oh,
I have something to mention. Next week, my faux leather crafting, my summer camp, my faux leather crafting camp
is that
is
starting
going to
already?
be. It doesn't start, but I'm going to be opening up registration next week toward the end of the week because then I go on vacation on Saturday. So it'll happen before Saturday. And then the event starts on July 1st. And I'm going to be doing all kinds of 10 days of super fun faux leather crafts. And I'm putting together a bunch of fun bonuses also. So, yay. Look for that email next week.
I
So,
saw
yeah.
someone ask me if I'm going to be doing a laser summit. No. I'm
No.
actually speaking in one coming up soon, but
Actually,
I won't
Bale
be
popped
doing.
into the chat here, and she
Did
has a
she?
laser. Is
Yeah,
that the one?
that's who summit I'm going to be doing. Yeah,
Okay, so that
but
is
I
Bale,
don't
and
think.
it's Laser Craft Fest.
We'll have to
Yeah,
have
I'm
Bale on to talk
still.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still learning. I have 3 lasers here,
you do.
so
She says it
I'm
with like a little bit
embarrassed.
of a, I'm
I'm
so
embarrassed
scared or
because
so
you
embarrassed.
know what's funny though? I think I have 5 crickets and 2 silhouettes that I've never used. Like I have so much stuff.
Well, that is the danger of actually doing this professionally, is that you can
Yes.
justify the purchases because you're like, well, I'm gonna need that for a video, and then you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, no, I know, and then you're like, wait, I have no room, and and then you
Mm-hmm.
try to limit yourself, but yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Vale just heard her name and freaked out for a second. That's awesome. Like hopefully in a good way. So,
Love that.
yep.
Jen, do you have any last minute things you want to mention?
Just that I love being here with you guys because it's so much fun. Everybody in the chat, and then Jamila and Amy, of course. I'm so glad that you guys can come hang out with me for an hour. It's my
Yay.
favorite time of the week.
You guys asked me on.
Yep. So that's all I have. But are we going to be doing this next week, Amy? Are you in town or out of town then?
I think I'm still here. Yes. On Thursday. Actually, I'm not sure because my son has orientation at the
Okay.
college he's transferring to. So
Okay.
we have to go do that. And then I go on vacation. But I'll let you know.
Okay, we'll talk. We'll
Yes, we'll
figure it
talk.
out. But yeah, everybody
Yeah.
wants to come hang out with us. Sometime we might have to do a thing where we all get together in person. That would be fun.
I would
Yeah.
love it. I was just saying that I need to travel more. I'm going to Portugal this year.
Woo!
So
Oh,
that's the
wow.
only place that I'm probably going.
All right. Well, I will travel vicariously to Portugal with
But I
you
was
because
saying
I
that
love it.
we should organize a craft retreat or something. Some kind of
Yeah, I would love
in-person
that.
mastermind retreat would be awesome.
And then we can meet everybody.
Yep, I
Yes.
love that.
All right.
Gail,
Oh,
Gail
Bale's
says she's
in.
in.
A
She's
lot
in
of
for
everybody's
retreat.
in, right? You're all in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna strong arm you, so you're all in. All right. So I guess we will hopefully see you guys live next week. If not, we're probably gonna take a week off for your vacation, or maybe I'll do it something. But we'll figure it out and we'll get back to you guys. And again, it was so fun to see you both, and we'll talk to everybody here in the chat later.
Yay.
All right.
Bye, friends.
Okay.